You're in. Let me fix this camera just a little bit here. There we go. You're in Banter Mode now, where light-hearted self-deprecation meets vintage wit and a dash of chaos. Today's episode, I'll be reading Knickerbocker Spice from Captain Billy's Whiz Bang, April 1922, for LibriVox. Think of it as a time capsule of scandal, satire, and spice, served up in that distinct whiz-bang flavor. And if I keep a good pace, or just trip less over the 1920s slang, I might toss in even more quips and short stories as bonus. So settle in for a mix of old-timey humor, modern interruptions, and probably a few unexpected detours. That's just how Banter Mode rolls. So I'm going to now I'm going to show you part I'm making for LibriVox. This is what the forum looks like. I've signed up for these parts. Actually, you know what? Before we go any further, let me check that the live stream is running. I'll just check on my cell phone that the live stream is up. I had a couple of an issue because I think I might want to do 2 live streams today. I've never done that before. It could be a bit of a learning experience. I might do some gaming and some book reading. Some gaming in addition to this book reading one. But I started up 2 live streams. Okay, this is good. Now, what about my computer? Is my computer audible? Yeah, okay, computer is audible, good. That's really important for today because we're going to be doing some editing. So I'm going to be making some audio for LibriVox. I've signed up for these parts. I haven't been accepted yet, but I probably will. I haven't been rejected yet, so I think I will. I signed up for these parts. We'll do Knickerbocker Spice for sure. This is the text. And I'm going to be recording with OBS Studio. I'm going to go Control Windows T. Now this is always on top, and then I'm going to hide it off to the side so you can't see it and so the recording can't see it because I'm recording in a vertical cell phone format. So my whole computer is 1920 by 1080. It's in the middle here. And then I have some images to tease the text, and my webcam and everything is going to be recorded. I'm going to put it off to the side, and I'm going to use hotkeys. What is it? Control-Alt? Is it Control-Alt-Z? Yeah, Control-Alt-Z to start or to stop. I have to be careful about those Control-Alt-Zs because many times you can hear my hands sliding around on the keyboard as I'm talking by accident. I have to pull my hand away right away. So anyways, there's lots of stuff to know to do a good job here. I make sure all of my recordings go into my Aaron folder, my home folder, because if I put it in any of the folders that are monitored by OneDrive, Windows OneDrive, it can mess up my internet, and there's just like these weird behaviors, like certain kinds of update. I forgot the exact stuff that happens. Hello, Free on YouTube. Hello, 1MS on YouTube. So in order to see that, I just I made a recording. I have to go to some other folder and then back to this one. And then where is it? right here. That's what I just randomly recorded. So I'm going to be recording a whole bunch of individual sentences at a time as I read this text. So here we go. I have to be very strict about my zooming. I'm going to go one page, zoom in 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'll start at the very top and then, oh, I'm stuck. Start at the very top of the page. No, I can't go straight to the top of the page. So I have to kind of find a nice starting point like that. Maybe I can find that pixel perfect, and then can I hit the number keys or the arrow keys? Scroll. Okay, then from now on, I'll try to scroll like a number of ticks on the scroll bar in case I have to back up. And like, I might have to make recordings in post and stuff. That are, you know, at the exact same scrolling, because I wouldn't want to be like reading it like this, then another take is like it's a bit off, and then the next take is like right back to where it was. That would be bad. But maybe if it's like 1 or 2 pixels off, that would be maybe okay, in my opinion. All right, here we go. Let's start this up. Oh yeah, actually, I'm recording this for LibriVox, so I need to do the LibriVox introduction. This is section 17, isn't it? Section 16. Oh yeah, one other thing. Let's do one other detour I wanted to do. Can I make a... No, never mind. Forget it. Let's just get in it. This is going to be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think that is pixel perfect. I can get it to that exact spot. Section 16 of Captain Billy Whizbang. Nope. Not feeling it. I'm feeling a little bit rushed. I need to calm down. I'll just read it out first as I read. Section 16 of Captain Billy's Whizbang, Volume 3, Number 32, April 1922. 3/32/1922. Captain Billy's Whizbang's Volume 3, Number 32. Section 16. I'm just going to do just Captain Billy's Whizbang. It's almost like a tongue twister. I want to say Captain Willy. Billy Whizbang turns into Willy. But anyways. Section 16 of Captain Billy's Whizbang. Section 16 of Captain Willy's Again, see, I end up saying Willy for some reason. There's my view counter. I lost my view counter for a moment. Or was that just me. Okay, anyways. Section 16 of Captain Billy's Whiz Bang. Honestly, I'm feeling a bit nervous. I haven't done these live before. I've done lots of recordings, but they have never been live. Section 16 of Captain Billy's Whiz Bang. Volume 3, number 32, April 1922. Volume 3, Volume 3, number 32, April 1922. I could do a little bit smoother. Still recording. Volume 3, number 32, April 1922. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Aaron Zimmerman. And then we do repeat the name of the book once again. Captain Billy's Whiz Bang? Captain Billy's Whiz Bang, Volume 3, number 32, April 1922. By W. H. Fawcett. Knickerbocker Spice. New York is so dull in comparison with the Hollywood film colony. With its mad quest for joy at any cost. That we are rather ashamed to present the more or less dull events of the month. The once so gay film parties, alas, are very circumspect these days. Circumspect parties in Hollywood? That's like a mime with a pod. That's like a mime with a podcast. Not built for it. Although a recent one nearly resulted in newspaper headlines. It seems that It seems that the affair was given in honor of a star on a visit from the coast. It seems that the affair was given in honor of a star on a visit from the coast. Said star's younger brother brought along a feminine friend who imbibed the stuff that said star's younger brother brought along a feminine friend who imbibed the stuff that Mr. Volstead's said star's younger brother brought along a feminine friend who imbibed the stuff that Mr. Volstead thought he had absolutely prohibited. Okay, so now I want to scroll down. How much should I just, I think I'm gonna just jump scroll. The next clip will just, I'll be scrolled down. Probably it wasn't exactly the stuff, for the lady became violently ill. Oh yeah, okay, I think I missed something earlier. Maybe I can try to remember to bring it back, and I'm gonna just delete the scroll so I don't have to remember the exact scroll. I want to add a joke here. No, actually I'm not. I'm gonna just put the one joke right here. This works well here. The oars do over. How do I pronounce that? Okay, I'm gonna have to look up some French pronunciation for this joke.
Harsdoosties. Hars?
Harsdoosties.
Doosties. What a dilucis hardoosties.
Harsdoosties.
Doosties.
Harsdoosties. Harsdoosties. And what is it? 15 different harsdoosties. A wine and harsdoostie reception. Sounds like some kind of food. So fast the harsdoosties didn't even notice you'd gone. The harsdoosties didn't even know you'd gone. Imagine leaving a party so fast, the harsdoosties didn't even notice you've left. Harsdoosties. Let me try that again.
Harsdoosties.
Harsdoosties. Imagine leaving a party so fast, the harsdoosties didn't even notice you'd left. Probably it wasn't exactly.
Ruby de Reamer returning with trunks of black negligee. Customs must have had questions.
Actually, this is not the best time for this joke. Imagine leaving a... I'll tell one more line. Hastily departed, that's when it should be. Okay. Probably it wasn't exactly the stuff, for the lady became violently ill. Then a scandal-free Hollywood gathering is basically just a brunch with better lighting. Let's actually try to get that. Newspaper headlines, so I have to find that one. Where's the newspaper headlines? With its mad quest for joy at... That's like a mime. So that was circumspect. So just this next one. Although a recent one nearly resulted in newspaper... Okay, so I need to make sure this next clip goes right after this one. I'm starting to warm up a bit more, because I remember some of the corrections I used to always make. It's been a while since I've made a LibriVox recording. So I just imagine I just read, although a recent one nearly resulted in newspaper headlines. A scandal-free Hollywood meeting. No, it's a gathering. A scandal-free Hollywood gathering is basically a brunch with better lighting. Okay, now I can carry on to this prohibited stuff, and I think I want to start this one over, because did I get the scroll correct? I see that said is barely on the screen. Oh yeah, this needs to be changed, so it'll be 1 second after. The titles determine, so it goes, although a recent one nearly resulted in newspaper headlines. Then, the joke. Probably it wasn't exactly the stuff. Whoa, this is not right. It seems that the affair was given in honor of a star on a visit. Said star's younger brother brought along a feminine friend who... So I think I'll delete these ones anyways. This one needs to stay though. It seems that the affair was given... These ones I'm going to do again. Said star's younger brother brought along a... This is the joke. Scandal-free Hollywood. So I always need to refresh my view so that these sort out. And I didn't do that, and I renamed the last one, which was actually supposed to be the second last one. So, and this is the one I think I want to redo. Probably it wasn't no, I don't have to redo this one. Can I Control Z? Yes, I can Control Z. And then refresh this view, and then I think I'm in the correct order. It goes headlines. Although a recent one nearly resulted in newspaper headlines. Then the joke. A scandal-free Hollywood. It seems that the affair was given in honor of a star on a said star's younger brother. Okay. Probably it wasn't exactly the stuff. Okay, now we're on track. And here's another joke. Probably wasn't exactly the stuff where the lady became violently ill. Oh no, it's coming up after they depart. That's when the joke is. With memories of the Arbuckle episode before them.
I love how every anecdote is scandal averted, barely.
Barely, yeah, it's barely, I guess it's almost like the scandal doesn't happen if no one catches them. The guests hastily departed. Horsed over. What was that word again? Horsed over.
Harsdoosties.
Harsdoosties.
Doosties.
The Harsdoosties didn't even know you'd left. Oops, now I have to zoom in. 8. Something is wrong here. Let's, what's the zoom? My zoom is all off. Can I refresh the page to reset the zoom? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. There we go, that's perfect. I remember seeing this said getting cut off by about that much. So now I'm going to tell this joke. Hastily departed. Harsdoosties. Imagine leaving a party so fast, the Harsdoosties didn't even notice you'd left. Okay, and when's my next joke? No, that's the Arbuckle. No, that's the Arbuckle aftermath. Well, I don't fully know what an Harsdoosty is, so maybe I'll just replace it with this next one. I have a lot of extra jokes, so this one I will use this other joke. You know the party's gone south. You know the party's gone south when people scatter faster than extras in a Godzilla movie. You know the party's gone south when people scatter. You know the party's gone south when people scatter faster than extras in a Godzilla movie. You know the party's gone south when people scatter faster than extras in a Godzilla movie. The visitor recovered, but the party was as ruined as the heroine in the old-time melodrama.
Theatrical season ends mild, imagine disappointing even the reformers.
Hastily departed. The visitor recovered, but the party was as ruined as the heroine in the old-time melodrama. I think I should say melodrama. I said mela a bit. The visitor recovered, but the party was as ruined as the heroine in the old-time melodrama. The visitor recovered, but the party was as ruined as the heroine in the old-time melodrama. Okay. Most of the screenplayers seem to be Most of the screenplayers seem to be planning to go abroad. Most of the screenplayers seem to be planning to go abroad. They fled like someone screamed, "Quick, the tabloids are here!" Nobody can tell exactly. Nobody can tell exactly when one's letters or telegrams or something. May be unearthed after some quiet little informal murder in Hollywood. Here, we might add that the vogue for monogrammed nighties has completely disappeared. Here, we might add that the vogue for monogrammed nighties has completely disappeared. Here, we might add that the vogue for monogrammed We can't exactly blame anyone for going. Not when we hear of the giddy, carefree life on the other side. If you have the necessary wherewithal.
New York may be dull, but with these stories it's still spicier than my kitchen cupboard.
For instance, a chap just back from Paris told me the other day of the bal de ca. I need a new window. This book should have its own window because I keep having to ruin. Okay, my zoom is still good. Good. But yeah, the book needs its own window, so I can look for pronunciations and stuff on a different window. Katzar. So I'm looking for the pronunciation of Le Bel de Katzar.
Bonjour à tous et merci d'être venus malgré les intempéries qui prenaient le nom de bal des Quatzars.
Le Bel de Katzar. Le Bel de Katzar. Le Bel de Katzar. For instance, a chap just back from Paris told me the other day of the Belle de Katzar. Of the Belle de Katzar. For instance, Belle de Katzar. Katzar. Belle de Katzar. For instance, For instance, a chap just back from Paris told me the other day of the Belle de Quetzal. The annual student art revel of the Latin Quarter. The annual student art revel of the Latin Quarter. Carthaginian costumes is my next joke coming up. Tickets are hard to get. Tickets are hard to get. For the real quarter inhabitants decline to let it develop into a sightseeing affair. For the real quarter inhabitants decline to let it develop into a sightseeing affair. For the real quarter inhabitants decline to let it develop into a sightseeing affair.
The secret New York lounge, basically cribs, but for a theater manager with incense burners.
However, a friend secured the tickets, and the two chaps invited a duo of pretty little models of the studio. However, a friend secured the tickets, and the two chaps invited a duo of pretty little models to the studios. However, a friend secured the tickets, and the two chaps invited a duo of pretty little models to the studios. Now, is it Carthaginian or Carthaginian?
We are looking at how to pronounce this word, as well as how to say more interesting words and names, and some of the most interesting and often mispronounced names from history as well. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more Genian inhabitant or an inhabitant of Carthage in present day. Pretty straightforward. Once you know the Genian. Carthaginian.
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 Carthaginian. Everyone Everyone was supposed to go in Carthaginian costume. Everyone was supposed to go in Carthaginian costume, whatever that is. Carthaginian costume. Nature's way of saying Carthaginian costume. Nature's way of saying just wear something ancient. Nobody'll fact check you. Carthaginian costume. Nature's way of saying just wear something ancient. Nobody will fact check you. Carthaginian costume. Nature's way of saying just wear something ancient. Nobody will fact check you. Okay, next joke at Mimi and Fleuret. The American secured attire claimed by the
Prohibition really had people drinking anything perfume, mouthwash, probably paint thinner too.
The American secured attire claimed by the renters to be strictly 100% Carthaginian. And then they went around after the models. So Mimi at Fleuret probably, right? Let's just check on the pronunciation. Fleuret, T in English.
Fleurette.
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 Fleurette. I'm just going to say Fleurette with a hard R. Mimi, yeah, it's going to be Mimi. Mimi and Fleurette were waiting. Mimi and Fleurette were waiting when they drew up in one of those queer Paris taxis. Mimi and Fleurette were waiting. Mimi and Fleurette Mimi and Fleurette were waiting when they drew up in one of those queer Paris taxis. Oh yeah, and when's my next joke? Here it is, okay, right after this one. And Mimi and Florette were attired in conventional cloaks. I think
when's my next joke?
sometimes I'm like recording in between. I was recording in between there, wasn't I? As soon as I want to record, I hit stop record. Okay, I might have to back up because I was doing that for a little while.
And then they went around after the models. And then they...
I don't know if I like that emphasis.
The American secured attire claimed by the renters to be strictly 100% Carthaginian.
Okay, I think I'm going to back up a little bit more to the start of this page, actually. The American secured... Oops. The American secured attire claimed by the renters.
Captain Billy really knew how to serve gossip, bootlegged and over ice.
The American secured attire claimed by the renters to be strictly 100% Carthaginian. And then they went around after the models. Mimi and Florette were waiting. Mimi and Florette were waiting when they drew up in one of those queer Paris taxis. And Mimi and Florette were attired in conventional cloaks. Mimi and Florette showed up in cloaks? That's the medieval equivalent of showing up in sweatpants before the reveal. Mimi and Florette showed up in cloaks? That's the medieval equivalent of sweatpants before the reveal. And my next joke will be at dainty little slippers gleamed from beneath. The Americans had been... Did I just delete there?
The Americans had been...
The Americans had been wondering what a feminine Carthaginian costume would be, and they were disappointed momentarily. The Americans had been wondering what a feminine Carthaginian costume would be, and they were disappointed. Momentarily. Mimi and Florette expressed hunger on reaching the hall, and the Americans gallantly preferred a supper invitation. Mimi and Florette expressed hunger on reaching the hall, and the Americans gallantly preferred a supper invitation.
Someone offering $50,000 for the deleted scenes sounds like the first ever director's cut collectors.
Imagine their surprise when Mimi and Florette tossed aside their cloaks and revealed that their costumes were simple golden belts. Nothing humbles a guy. Nothing humbles a guy like realizing the models brought less clothes than he did. Okay, next up, no makeup and costumes. Nor were the feminine costumes of other women in and about the two models any more elaborate. Nor were the feminine costumes of other young women Nor were the feminine costumes of other young women in and about the two models any more elaborate. Later at the ball itself, the Americans' reproduction of famous statuary. Statuary.
We are looking at how to pronounce this word, as well as how to say more interesting.
There's no T
related
there.
words and some of the most mispronounced ones as well in English. So
What
make sure
is
to
this?
stay tuned and consider subscribing.
Is this a statute? I don't think it's a statute. Is it statuary?
Statuary.
Statuary. Statuary.
Statuary.
Statuary. Statuary groups posed by living models. Later at the ball itself, the Americans found reproductions of famous statuary groups posed by living models.
A beauty contest with no makeup, no beads, no tricks? That's braver than any war film.
The Americans found reproductions of famous statuary groups posed by living models. The elect of the studios. It goes without saying that the statuary later came to life and danced with the others all night. It goes without saying that the statuary later It goes without saying that the statuary later came to life and danced with the others all night. It goes without saying that the statuary later came to life and danced with the others all night. It goes without It goes without saying that the statuary later came to life and danced with the others all night. The ball concluded with a beauty contest. And it was a real beauty contest. Modesty. What is this? There was an E, wasn't there?
Modiste.
Modiste. Old school modest, it seems like. Modiste, or is that French? Modiste. For there were none of the advantages of camouflages provided by the modiste. Modiste. For there were none of the advantages or camouflages For there were none of the advantages or camouflages provided by the modiste. Not even a beaded eyelash was permitted as a costume. Not even a beaded eyelash was permitted as a costume, my friend tells me.
The censors scratching their heads. Premature baby. Is that even allowed?
A beauty contest without makeup or costumes? Finally, a fair fight, except for anyone with wrinkles, with freckles. A beauty contest with no makeup or costumes? A beauty contest with no makeup or costumes? Finally, a fair fight, except for anyone with freckles. A beauty contest with no... A beauty contest with no makeup or costumes? Finally, a fair fight, except for anyone with freckles. And the next joke will be the end of the Paris party. Probably next view, next scroll. I can't see it yet. The festivities concluded when everyone went out on the boulevard and plunged into a nearby fountain. The festivities concluded when everyone went out on the boulevard. The festivities concluded when everyone went out on the boulevard and plunged themselves into a nearby fountain. After that, the Carthaginians retired to their studios and garrets. A pleasant time was had by all. Yes, Paris has its attractions. I'm trying to think, how do I say this? Yes, Paris. Yes, Paris has its attractions. Yes, Paris has its attractions. Yes. Yes, Paris has its attractions. Yes, Paris has its attractions. Yes, Paris has its attractions.
Yes, Paris has its attractions.
Oops, I've been cutting off the left this whole time, haven't I? This
Yes,
could be
Paris has its
a
attractions.
big edit. I just realized that I'm cutting off the left there. How long has that been? Was it just this page? I'll have to zoom out, so 7 zooms instead.
Not
Eric
even a
von
beaded
Stroheim's
eyelash
plot.
was permitted
Perfume
as
shots, ruined maids, premature babies. What didn't this movie
In that-
have?
This one page was zoomed in a bit too
Mimi and
much, so
for-
7 zooms is what it's going to be from now on. The rest of it
Everyone-
was okay. This one was cut off a little bit,
pleasant
and it is
time,
pretty close many of the times.
for there were none of the advantages or camouflages provided by the mode.
Okay, I'll try to record here for this scroll. I'll edit this. And I'll just write edit 1. And it's gonna need to be scrolled. What was it? This one? Nor.
The elect of the studios.
This one also got cut off, so anywhere I saw this,
Nothing humbles a guy like realizing
This
the
is
models
fine.
brought less.
okay, so now I have to scroll up to where nor is. I'll have one edit where it's highlighted. And one where it is not highlighted. And what have we got? Is this the correct one? Because I don't know.
Yes, Paris has its attractions.
I'll just redo this one anyways. This is going to be, this. I shouldn't have changed the name of this one, but I'm just going to redo that anyways with the new scroll. That was a...
Okay, I'll try to record. Okay, I'll try to record. Okay, I'll try.
This is the better zoom. And once we get to...
A pleasant time was had by all.
Okay, so then this page needs these 2 edits at the end.
Okay, I'll try to record. Okay, I'll try to.
Okay, and this
record.
one is not needed. Okay, so there's just 2 overlays that I need to make so far. So I need to re-record, yes, Paris has its attractions. Yes, Paris has its attractions. Yes, Paris has its attractions. So when's my next joke again? Oh, return to their studio. I actually need to back up a little bit. Was had by all. Okay, let's undo that, and then I have to... It was just before this.
Yes.
Paris parties always end the same way. Wet, cold, and somehow still smoking. Paris parties always end the same way. Everyone wet, cold, and somehow still smoking.
Imagine explaining to your doctor, yes, I got sick from 100% authentic Carthaginian spirits.
Paris parties always end the same way. Everyone wet, cold, and somehow still.
Now we can carry on. Yes, Paris has its attractions. Oh yeah, but that's a paragraph break. Let me try that again. Yes, Paris has its attractions. Ruby de Reamer, is it Remier?
Reamer.
Reamer. Ruby de Reamer. Ruby de Reamer, the famous screen beauty. Piquant. I think that's a piquant.
Piquant.
Piquant. And so what does that mean? Pleasantly sharp, stimulating, or exciting to taste. Okay, negligee is the next joke. What was it again? Piquant?
Piquant.
Piquant. has just returned from that piquant village with trunks and trunks of black negligee. The latest vogue in France. She came back with trunks of negligee. Somewhere, a bellhop is traumatized for life. Is traumatized for life. She came back with trunks of negligee. Somewhere a bellhop is traumatized for life. She came back with She came back with trunks of negligee. She came back with trunks of negligee. Somewhere, a bellhop is traumatized for life.
Mimi and Fleurette had the most minimalist wardrobes. 1 belt, 0 modesty.
Black negligee was the latest French vogue. Basically goth pajamas with better marketing. Black negligee was the latest vogue in France. Basically goth pajamas with better marketing. Black negligee was the latest vogue in France. Basically goth pajamas with better marketing. Robes de nuit. Robe de nuit, that's gonna be French. Should it be robe de nuit? I don't know. French. Maybe I should go to a translator instead.
Robe de nuit.
Robe de nuit. Robe de nuit.
Robe de nuit.
Robe de nuit. Robe de nuit. Robe. Robe de nuit. Should I fully pronounce it? Robe de nuit. Robe de nuit. Robe. Because French people don't use hard R's. We say robe. They would go robe. Robe de nuit. Robe de nuit. Gleaming black robe de nuit. Robe. 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 Robe de nuit. I think I'll use a hard R. It'll be more understandable. Especially because that's just random French. Robe de nuit. Hopefully we know what nuit is, night or black. I think black is, it's nuit is black. Robes of black. Okay, so where did my OBS go? Did I close? No. You should have viewed those gleaming black robes de nuit. Robes de nuit. Robes de nuit. Maybe even robes de nuit. Folly, just say robes.
You should have viewed those.
Robe de nuit. Robe de nuit. I think I want to do it full French. You should have... You should have viewed those gleaming black robes de nuit. Robe de nuit. I think I did a bit of a crackle.
You should have viewed those gleaming black robes de nuit.
Okay, no, I think that was good. The crack. I thought I had a bit of a fluid crackle, but let's just do it. I'm gonna do it one more time because I think I may have messed that up a bit. It's hard to without robe de nuit. You should have viewed those gleaming black robes de nuit. There we go, that was perfect. I'm glad I redid that.
Lily and Lorraine, broken spine? Nonsense, watch me dance. Doctors hate her.
Next up, Secret Den Under the Theater. Tapestries and incense. I'm going to stand up for 30 seconds because I need some blood flow. I'm just going to stand up for 30 seconds. Beneath his theater in New York. Okay, that'll be the next joke. Another tale we hear is of a lavish and decorative nest belonging to a well-known manager and located beneath his theater in New York. Another tale we hear is of a lavish and decorative nest belonging to a well-known manager and located beneath his theater in New York. Okay, no, we have to hear about the tapestries and the incense for the joke. Viands. Continent, capital C in continent. Continent and Asia. Is this Europe? Continent with the capital C. Is continent with a capital C referring to Europe or what? It was with Asia. It was continent and Asia. So I know it's a country. It's a what do you call it? It's like a hemisphere. It's a landmass. Continental Europe. Old-timey way of saying Europe, continent. Interesting. The place is beautifully furnished with treasures from the continent and Asia. The place is The place is beautifully furnished.
Hollywood parties end in scandal. Paris parties end in pneumonia.
The place is beautifully furnished with treasures from the continent and Asia. Divans. Divans, that's just like upholstery, right?
Divan.
Divan, and it's just like leather or something. Low sofa. It's the shape of the sofa. Divan. Divans of fabulous value adorn the place. So do incense burners from the Far East. Tapestries that date back to the Middle Ages. Tapestries that date back to the Middle Ages. Sharp, loud S there. I don't mean to make loud S's. Tapestries that date Tapestries that date Tapestries that date back to the Middle Ages. Rajas. Yeah, I'm almost completely sure that's Rajas. That's how English people would pronounce Rajas anyways. And jeweled keepsakes that may have belonged to Rajas. Secret den under the theater with tapestries and incense? Secret den under the theater with tapestries and incense sounds less like New York and more like Hogwarts after dark. Back of the place. Secret den under the theater with tapestries and incense sounds less like New York and more like Back of the place is a modern kitchen. Where suppers are prepared for managers' guests.
Soft music, soft divans, soft viands, somebody liked their adjectives soft.
Yeah, true. I wonder if probably being a performer or something, they need a lot of cozy time in between all of the anxious preparing for show times. It is all very atmospheric. But words fail us. We leave you to draw your own picture. Soft music, soft divans, soft viands. Apparently the only hard thing was leaving. Stroheim. Erich von Stroheims. Erich von Stroheims. Should I fully pronounce it? How many times am I going to have to pronounce it? If I don't have to pronounce it too many times perfectly, then I will. Otherwise, I'll Americanize it. I'm looking for the text. Is there only one? Yes, okay, I will pronounce it well then. If it's just once. Erich von Stroheims. Stroheim's $1 million movie. Erich. Then there's Erich von Stroheim's $1 million movie, Foolish Wives. Then there's Erich von Stroheim's $1 million movie, Foolish Wives.
Then there's Erich von Stroheim's $1 million movie, Foolish Wives.
Then there's Erich von Stroheim's $1 million movie, Foolish Wives. For instance, I'll include that in the same take. Then there's Erich von Stroheim's $1 million movie, Foolish Wives, for instance. This has been a picture after the censor's own heart. This has been a picture after the censor's own heart.
Paris costume parties, where a golden belt counts as full coverage.
When is my next joke? Foolish Wives, after the censor's own heart, probably before censor's own heart. Nope, drank perfume. Drinks perfume. The hero is a degenerate Russian count who drinks perfume. Ra-ins. I don't know what else to... I think I must pronounce that as ra-ins. Ra-ins. Oh, like runs, ruins. Ruins. A serving maid. Ruins. Ruins. A serving maid. Ruins. A serving maid. That just needs to be emphasized like an insane amount. Ruins a serving maid. Ruins a serving maid. Lives with two pretty adventuresses. Ruins a serving maid. Tries to capture an American ambassador's wife and is only prevented by a fire and ends by being killed when he climbs. Lives with two pretty adventuresses. Ruins. Lives with two pretty adventuresses. Ruins a serving maid. Let's see how that turned out. Lives with two pretty adventuresses. Ruins a serving maid. Perfect. Tries to capture an American ambassador's wife and is only prevented by a fire. Tries to capture an American tripping over an Americans a bit. Tries to capture an American ambassador's wife. Tries to capture an American. Tries to capture an American. Tries to capture an American. Tries to capture an American ambassador's wife and is only prevented by a fire. And ends by being killed when he climbs into the bedroom of a half-witted peasant girl. The ambassador's wife, by the way, leaps from a balcony to escape the fire and has the first premature baby ever
and of course
noted
it
in
ends
film.
with everyone jumping into a fountain. Classic Paris MIC drop.
Interesting that you brought that up, because I wonder if there's some kind of there's a bit of a thematic parallel here. All of the people leaving the French party go to the fountain. This wife is leaping from the balcony to escape. They're escaping into the fountain. Was it too hot? It's like the party was on fire. They were role-playing the party was on fire. Where did I leave off?
And ends by being killed when he climbs into the bedroom of a half-witted peasant girl. And ends by being killed when he climbs into the bedroom of a half-witted peasant girl.
The ambassador's wife, by the way, leaps from a balcony to escape the fire and has the first premature baby ever noted in films. Ever noted in the films. The ambassador's wife, by the way, leaps from the balcony to escape the fire and has the first premature baby ever noted in the films. You can imagine how the censors tackled this material. You can imagine how the censors tackled this material. Oh, am I missing anything? Yep. Okay, I'll have to backtrack a bit. I won't have to re-record stuff. That's a paragraph split.
You can imagine how the censors...
So I need a joke here. Censors didn't know what to do about the premature baby. Censors didn't know what to do about a premature baby? I'm guessing they just sent it to boarder school. And that should be just before that paragraph split. I'll just simply redo that paragraph split. And then the man drank perfume. Where was the previous? Where should I scroll up
Lives
to?
with two pretty adventuresses.
So I can see the title there. Drinks perfume and lives. Okay, and I got so distracted by this big, long, peasant-witted girl.
200,000 feet of film cut. At that point you're making confetti, not edits.
The man drank perfume? The man drank perfume? The man drank perfume? That's not decadence, that's Sephora on a dare. Sephora. I think it's Sephora. The man drank perfume? That's not decadence, that's Sephora on a dare. Okay, so peasant, whenever it says peasant girl.
Tries to capture an American ambassador's wife and is only prevented by peasant girl.
Here it is, so right after this one.
The man drank.
Was that right?
And ends by being killed when he tries to capture an American ambassador.
What is going on? I'm a bit confused here. Something happened.
Lives with two pretty adventuresses. Only prevented by. And ends bedroom of a half-witted peasant girl.
I think I deleted it. What did I change? This is what I changed. Okay. This can be deleted. I deleted the thing I needed. This one. Is that it? The video I needed, the joke video. Is this it?
The man drank perfume? That's not decadence.
There we go, there's the joke.
Tries to capture a made. Is peasant girl.
Okay, after that one, I'm adding the joke. Okay, let's see how this worked out. Peasant girl.
Peasant.
There.
The man drank.
And then.
The ambassador's wife, by the way, leaps from the balcony. The man drank perfume.
Oh, I have this twice. Which one is better? One of these might be
and
wrong.
Ends by being killed when The man drank perfume. That's not decadence. That's Sephora on a dare.
Hello, Ready on YouTube.
The man drank perfume. That's not decadence. That's Sephora on a dare.
Yep, that's the one where I got it. It's all set up now. Okay, ready to go. Now, the next part, okay, that's the correct scroll amount. This is where I was. Last thing I said, I finished this paragraph. You can imagine how the censors tackled this material. Do I have the joke, though?
Censors didn't know what to do.
Yep, there's the joke. And when is my next joke? Stage and scandal. The baby must have puzzled them.
Nothing says party like everyone bolting the moment someone feels queasy. Instant melodrama.
Okay, actually, I need to scoot this one joke to ahead of this one. The baby must have puzzled them.
The baby must... You can imagine how the censors didn't know. Censors didn't know.
I made some noise. I rattled a bit on that one, so I'm gonna have to re-record that. Censors didn't know what to do about the premature baby? Censors didn't know what to do about the premature baby? I'm guessing they sent it to boarder school. Just is a good word. Let's make sure that just gets in there. The censors didn't know what to do about the premature baby? I'm guessing they just sent it to boarder school. They apparently are found on the back porch. They apparently are found on the back porch. Or somewhere. They apparently are found on the back porch or somewhere. They apparently are found on the back porch or somewhere. The censors didn't seem to know what to do about it. For the premature child was shown at the film premiere. Later, it disappeared. My day's going quite well, Reddy. I didn't realize you said that earlier. Okay, here's the cut 200,000 feet. The producers themselves had to cut 200,000 feet out of von Stolheim's original negative. Uh-oh, I was recording. Is my recording off? Yes, it probably is. I may have to redo some recording. Sometimes I go...
Later, it disappeared.
Sometimes my recording goes offset, so I'm not recording when I want to record, and I'm recording in between takes. Luckily, I caught that right away. The producers themselves cut some 200,000
Ruby
feet out
returning
of
with trunks of black negligee. Customs must have had questions.
Yeah, that almost sounds like she's starting a business. A black negligee business, probably. Does she have a permit for that business? The producers themselves cut some 200,000 feet out of von Stolheim's original negative to get the story down to these ornate essentials. That's going to be 2 takes for sure.
The producers
cut some 200,000 feet out of feet. Maybe I could cut it at feet out of negative. No, negative is where I'll switch. I'll cut it after negative. The producers themselves had to cut some... The producers themselves had to cut 200,000 feet out of von Stolheim's original negative. That already seems like a mouthful. The producers themselves cut some 200,000 feet out of von Stolheim's original negative. To get the story down to these ornate essentials. To get the story down to these ornate essentials. Cutting 200,000 feet out of film isn't editing. That's a landscaping project. Cutting 200,000 feet out of an... Cutting 200... Cutting 200,000 feet out of film isn't editing, that's landscaping. That's a landscaping project. Cutting 200,000 feet out of film isn't editing, that's a landscaping project. It is said that someone has offered the producers $50,000 for the cut out of portion, for the cut out of portions, for the cut out of portions. Cut out portions, for the cut out portions, for the cut out portions. I see. Okay, I was a bit confused about the what is cut out a noun? No, it's the portions that have been cut out, those edited out. It is said that someone has offered the producers $50,000 for the cut out portions. This is going to be another long one.
I love how every anecdote is scandal averted barely.
With a view towards showing them in sections of Europe and South America. With a view towards showing them in sections of Europe and South America where the cinema flickers can't be too strong for 'em. The three theatrical events have not been all intriguing, have not been at all intriguing. The theatrical events have not been at all intriguing. The stage year, which started with such a sprightly trend that police intervention. Sprightly, what do we think that means? Sprightly.
Sprightly.
Oh, it's just lively. They're trying to say like all of this mischievous acts as just being very sprightly, being very lively. That's all it is. The stage year, which started with such a sprightly trend that police intervention not only seemed likely, but actually occurred. The stage year, which started with such a sprightly trend that police intervention not only seemed likely, but actually occurred. The stage year, which started with such a sprightly trend that police This is a bit of a long one. Maybe I should try to break it down a bit. Maybe just the stage year. The stage year. That makes it a little bit shorter. Which started with such a sprightly trend that police intervention not only seemed likely, but actually occurred.
Which started with such a sprightly trend that police intervention not only seemed likely, but actually occurred.
Occurred? Okay, now I realize my vocal intonation is wrong because this whole thing, what is this? Is that an adjunct? This whole section, it's like the stage year has petered out. This whole part could be cut out, so it needs to have a rising tone. But actually occurred. But actually occurred.
Theatrical season ends mild. Imagine disappointing even the reformers.
Which started
with such a sprightly trend that police intervention, not, I said enter, not enter. Which started with such a sprightly trend that police intervention not only seemed likely, but actually occurred. Has petered out to a mild termination. Has petered out to a mild termination. Even a reformer wouldn't be horrified at anything among the late events. Oh yeah, that was a time for a joke. No, I think it's good after this.
even a reformer wouldn't.
At least not much. The season went from police raids to yawns. That's Broadway for you. Either too hot or too cold. The season went from police raids to yawns. That's Broadway for you. From either too hot or too cold. The season went from police raids to yawns. That's Broadway for you. Either too hot or too cold. Of course, there was Lillian Lorraine's return. Lillian, let's just double check that's Lorraine. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Lorraine.
Lorraine.
Yeah. Of course, there was Lillian Lorraine. Of course, there was Lillian Lorraine's return. Of course, there was Lillian Lorraine's return. Oops, intonation's wrong. I should have read ahead a bit more.
New York may be dull, but with these stories it's still spicier than my kitchen cupboard.
Of course, there's Lillian Lorraine's return. Return. Lillian Lorraine's return. Of course, there's Lillian Lorraine's return. After we had read columns and columns about her paralysis from an injured or broken spine. After we had read columns and columns about her paralysis. After we had read columns and columns about her paralysis from an injured or broken spine. After we had read columns and columns about her paralysis from an injured or broken spine. Injured or broken spine. I think I can make that a little bit smoother. After we had read columns and columns about her paralysis from an injured or broken spine. After we had read columns and columns about her paralysis. It's a bit of a tongue twister too, because her paralysis. After we had read columns and columns about her paralysis from an injured or broken spine. That was much better. In The Blue Kitten, Lillian wears costumes that reveal her spine column to be in fine form to the last vertebrae. In The Blue Kitten, Lillian wears costumes that reveal her spinal column to be in fine form to the last vertebrae. In The Blue Kitten, Lillian wears costumes that reveal her spinal column to be in fine form to the last vertebrae. I was actually looking at myself. I rarely make that mistake. I was looking at myself while recording. In The Blue Kitten, Lillian wears costumes that reveal her spinal column to be in fine form to the last vertebrae. Lillian proves her spine is fine by showing it off like a medical chart.
The secret New York lounge. Basically cribs, but for a theater manager with incense burners.
Lillian shows Lillian proves her spine is fine by showing it off like a medical chart. Okay, and that's the end of this part. So I can do the outro for this section, which is, this is section 16. End of section 16. Okay, so should I carry on or should I head over to Cuphead? I could do some more. Let's see, it's 6 p.m. where I'm at. Will I do 2 more hours of Cuphead? Yeah, let's head over to Cuphead. So I'm going to end the live stream. I'm pretty sure, actually, let me just do one more check. I think I'm going to start to play some Cuphead. I don't think I am able to shuttle you over to my next live stream. I want to just like start up another live stream immediately after this one where I play Cuphead, but I don't know if I'm able to do that because I think I don't have enough subscribers. I should be able to go into some settings right here and go like send to the next stream. I think there are limitations based on how many subscribers. I talked to ChatGPT about this. I use the word shuttle. Will it? YouTube has a feature called Live Redirect, similar to Twitch Raid. I want to raid myself. At the end of your first live stream, you can set the viewers to automatically be sent to your next scheduled live stream. Oh yeah, and I also had a weird scheduling thing where I have 2 of the same keys, so I've got to edit this one. But I think I'm just gonna have to end this live stream and just hope that my 2 viewers here, I hope you come to my Cuphead live stream. I'm about to start a Cuphead live stream. I'll end this one now. Actually, you know what? Let's make a nice conclusion for this. Is this the one? Yes. Write a conclusion for today's episode. I completed section 16 of Captain Billy's Whiz bang. About New York theater parties. And it went quite well. What should I say? It went well? What do I have to say? And it went well. There's going to be more. And that wraps up section 16 of Captain Billy's Whiz Bang, April 1922, the Knickerbocker Spice chapter. Plenty of theater talk, party gossip, and just enough scandal to remind us the 20s were never that quiet. The 20s were never that quiet.
Prohibition really had people drinking anything perfume, mouthwash, probably paint thinner too.
This reading went smoothly, and there's more to come. I'll be back soon with the next section, and maybe a few extra quips along the way. Thanks for listening.